You're on mute, sir. If you, do you want to unmute? I
Yeah,
just want to make sure you can hear me. Good.
I can hear you. Yes.
Thank, thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you for honoring this invitation. It's a privilege to have you. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for gracing um, this webinar. Right. Good evening, everyone, or good afternoon, wherever you're watching from. My name is Andy Ide. Um, I wish I had a lot of time to tell you a little bit more about myself, but today's not the day because we have a guest in the house. And this is a educational platform where we support our health in a natural way. Um, the Bible also says that love, I wish you to prosper and be in health, even as your soul prosper. So it's God plan for us to be in health, and health is different from healing. So at Healthy Andy, we prioritize prevention more than cure, and and then there's a science there for there to help people if things go out of shape. So God has not left us without any form of backup. So I always say that healing is the backup to health. So if you're never sick, there's no need for you to be looking for healing. And tonight we're having Elder Anthony Anaka in our midst, who is going to take us through um, his journey with prostrate health. Prostrate is one of the things that affects men. And I don't know the science where they says it affects more black people than white people. I've not kind of done that, or white collar people, beg your pardon. So I've not done that science to know why specific this is more prevalent in the black community more than in other people of color community. So I'll need to look into that science. But whatever that is, we have someone in midnight who has gone through the treatment. And one thing we lack in our community, and this is not just about health, it's about everything. We do not have a system whereby information are passed down to the upcoming generation. So you see a businessman, you don't know how he make his money, has a lot of children, happy to be giving them money. He dies, and that money dies. But he has built a successful system around himself, but he never passed it on to his children. And this is something that is kind of we see across in the black community. So you see somebody into music, you see somebody into sport, you see somebody into religion, whatever they've aged in their life, there is no platform where a young person can live on that until they make their mistakes and say, oh, I told you so. So tonight we want to correct that narrative from our head perspective. And this is where we find the privilege of having Elder Anthony in among us. He has gone through the treatment. That is the worst that can happen to someone. And you'll be hearing much about him, which I'm not going to steal his night because tonight is his night. And it's quite happy to pour to us because if he was 50 years old, 40 years old, what would have done differently? And this is what we need to, um, we want to learn tonight. And it might shock you, you know, doctors are not even advising young men as young as 25, 35 to start thinking of their prostate health. So without further ado, I'm going to bring Elder in. Um, Please let's welcome Elder Anthony for those of us on Zoom and on YouTube. Thank you for joining. If you're on YouTube, please feel free to put your chat. Someone is monitoring your questions. If you have any question or comment, please put in there. Elder, please unmute yourself, sir. You're mute. You're mute now, sir. What is it?
Hello, everybody. Good evening, good afternoon, wherever you are. Thank you, Andy, for inviting me to this webinar where I can talk about my prostate cancer journey.
Thank you, sir. How old are you? Can I just start from there? How old are you?
I'm 71 going to 72. I'll be 72
71.
March.
Thank you, Dad. The reason I asked that question is just to let people know what we're sharing tonight. For me, if having you here by the grace of God is a testament that the way this thing has been blown out of proportion out there is like it's a death sentence for men. It's not. And if you are standing 71 going to 72, you've gone through it, ill and healthy, then it's opportunity to know that we are doing the right thing here tonight. Thank you so much, sir. So
Yeah, thank you, Andy.
what year? So what year was this? What year were you diagnosed of prostate, please?
I was diagnosed of prostate cancer October 2024. I was 69 going to 70 at the time. And when we had the news, it was terrible. It was unexpected, because I've been always keeping fit, walking, swimming, and my wife and my children, we were all taken unawares by the news. Bad news. It was terrible.
Mm.
It was terrible, and it was we were frightened when the news came. But I'm here, so I'm here to tell you about my journey, how everything went from early detection. But the main thing that keeps me alive today is early detection. My prostate cancer was detected early, and I have options for different treatments, and that really helped me. And that's why I'm here today.
Thank you so much, sir. So without taking much of your time, so maybe we're going to leave it to you now for you to kind of take us on that journey. What did you notice? What changes that prompt you to get checked or you call early detection? What changes, sir?
Yes, what mine was actually detected early, right from when I was about 50. I always go to my GP for my health MOT every year, September, October, every year. I do it religiously. And about 8 years ago, I asked my GP to start doing PSA blood test.
Okay.
And they've been quite good with me because I get on well with the doctors in my GP, got good relationship, and they've been doing my PSA blood test since before the COVID. And that really helped to detect it early, because on the September 2023, my PSA level was 3.9.
What should it have been? What is it supposed to be?
At my age, it probably not too bad. But why I was referred to Queen Elizabeth Hospital in 2024 is that my PSA test result in September 2024 showed an increase of 1 point. It's gone from 3.9 to 4.8. So my GP panicked, saying that this increase is abnormal. If it had increased just slightly, they probably won't bother. But because it's gone up for about 1 point, they called me the following day. They said, Mr. Naka, your PSA level is slightly elevated, and we will refer you to specialist doctors. And they referred me to Queen Elizabeth, which I was really very thankful because they took quick action. They didn't look at their budget because on GP, they look at their budget, whether they'll refer you. But this one, probably because of my relationship with them at the GP, they referred me straight away.
So are there any signs that you noticed before all this diagnosis? Is there anything you are suspecting? Is there anything that was coming up to you that you are thinking, maybe they are right? Maybe, do you see anything? Is there any changes for diagnosis?
Yes, yes, there was a changes because during lockdown, I normally do my walkabout about an hour every day. And I used to have a pain on my side, on my back. And I didn't think much about it. And also, I can't hold my urine. If I drive about 2 hours, I got to stop and go to the toilet to do a wee-wee. But some of my friends who are doctors, GP, they said to me it's old age. So we attributed it to old age. But what triggered this is August 2024. My wife and I went to Spain because her mother died in Spain. And I had this excruciating pain on my lower back. I couldn't walk. I had to use a walking stick to walk throughout in Spain. And when we came back to London, it carried on. I couldn't pinpoint what the problem was. We drove to Margate for weekend, parked our car, heading toward the Airbnb accommodation where I'll be staying for the weekend. From the car to the door, I couldn't hold my urine. For the first time in my life, I wet myself. I said to my wife, no, this is not right. Something like that had never happened to me. So we came back, I booked the GP, they did the test. Sure enough, they see that my PSA level has been elevated. So the only thing I can say is that excruciating pain and not being able to hold my urine. As soon as you want to go, you have to go. You can't hold it, which means my bladder was getting weaker and weaker. But I thought it was old age until the PSA result came back and they said, no, it's been elevated. And thank God they sent me to the hospital.
So you talk about loss of control, and you're talking about thank you for that, because those are the things that, if you are 50, what letter will you write back to yourself? That's what we're doing tonight. If you're 50 years old today, what letter will you write to yourself when it comes to your health, especially in the area of prostrate? What would have designed out like, oh, I need to look at these things and pay attention to it. So now I think the flow is that I don't want to make too much of questions, so I want to give you the flow now.
Yeah.
Now it's up to you now. Please give us as much so you can give us for the time we have this evening. Okay. So the key area for me is, when you said it was scary, what was scary to you? Is it going through the changes you have to make before the surgery? Is it the surgery that was scary, or what you did after the surgery? So even if it's not scary, those are the three things I really want you to spend time. Over to you, sir.
Yes. When I said when we had the news, it was scary that as soon as cancer is mentioned, all you think about is death. That's all you think about. But the day I went to get the MRI scan result, analyzed and told that I had prostate cancer, the consultant urologist in Queen Elizabeth Hospital looked at me and said, Mr. Naka, your prostate cancer is mildly progressive. As soon as he said that, mildly progressive, my mind went blank. Luckily for me, my wife was with me, so she was able to gather more information. And the doctor sent us to the specialist nurse in the office next door. As we walked in there, the nurse said to me, Mr. Naka, you are fit. Carry on living the life you are living because prostate cancer is not a death sentence. The prostate cancer is not a death sentence. And that positive statement gave me the courage to fight the cancer in my body. And there and then, my wife and I decided to be open about it. On our way home, my wife posted everything on the Facebook, telling everybody that I've been diagnosed with prostate cancer. So from the...
Why did she do that? I just want to learn from that. Why did she do that?
You did that because we wanted to be open. A lot of people hide it, especially in our community, Black people. When you have news like that, they hide it. They don't want to tell anybody. And I said to her, no, I can't suffer in silence. You got to share it so that people who have gone through it can give us ideas on how to survive. So from day one, we decided to go public.
We won't decide to go public because, like I said earlier, it is something, when you hear people die, the first thing that people ask is, what killed them? It's death, obviously. But I think that what people are trying to say is that I didn't hear that this person was sick, and I didn't hear this person is challenged in their health. Why am I just hearing the person have passed? So, what you did there is not really common to us in a Black community. And I really want to commend you, sir, for doing that because, that is what we're actually doing again tonight, because you would think this information is out there. And for people listening, most research is even done with white mouse, not, some of the medication we are even taking today, it was not done from our perspective, and I stand to be corrected, but with the little I know, most of things, even some drugs were not tested for women. And today you can go to GP, you complain, they give it as the same drug that was tested using men blood samples or tissues. So, reaching out there and reaching out to the world without even knowing who's going to come back to you is something I want to comment. I want to comment you. Thank you, sir, and I thank you again. Well, I cannot thank you enough for having you here, to be honest. So please, now talk to us about the changes you are you are you have to adopt before the surgery, because for me this is very, very, very important.
Yes.
Tonight, these changes, because people would think that, okay, it's surgery, right? But what they never knew, there's also that things that you need to be aware of, that even if it's a surgery, you still need to prepare yourself to get the best result out of the surgery, right? And I still see those things are things that are very aligned when it's come to prevention. Like I said, what you're going to tell us now, if you know this 20 years ago, I don't think you'll be in the position that you're going for surgery, but thank God you came out of it. So what are those things, sir? What are those things before surgery that you have to, what are the shock that came to you? What are the changes that came to you? What did you find out from your diet? Because I'm a nutritionist and I believe nutrition is number one. What are the changes you find? What are the things you are eating? Like, what? How did I survive up to this world? Please, what are those things, sir?
Yes, thank you for that. The main thing is that my wife actually helped me a lot. As soon as we got this news, she put me on a special diet, put me on fish, nuts, all the African food, pounded yam, gari, cow legs, all those things was cut off. Alcohol, I cut off alcohol. So I was on a strict diet, and that actually helped me because before I went for my surgery, that from October to January 2025, I lost over 2 stones in weight.
Wow.
I increased my exercise. Instead of doing 2 days in swimming, I was doing 4 days. So I was really, increasing my exercise, walking about. In fact, the diet changes my wife brought in my diet program really helped me. I lost weight. I looked better. People were noticing it, so that gave me more encouragement to keep dieting. In fact, after a while, my wife said, "No, please don't diet anymore. You're vanishing." But the weight loss actually helped, and the exercise.
What kind of
Another
exercise?
exercise that actually helped for my surgeries, pelvic floor exercise. Before my prostate, I've never had about pelvic floor exercise, but that actually helped me, and that strengthens the bladder muscle before the surgery.
Is there an exercise you can recommend the people to be doing right away,
But
even though they don't know that for
yeah,
general
yeah, for
well-being?
general maintenance with it's really difficult to say it can prevent cancer, but if you have healthy lifestyle, active lifestyle, keep your weight down, you help yourself. It's important to check what you eat, control your diet. Before my prostate cancer, I always said to myself, I only live once. I was eating a lot, I was drinking a lot, but when it hit me, I said, no, I have to change. And I did change. And I carried on.
And when you're saying a lot, can you just be more specific what you are eating that you're not eating now? What you're eating then that
What
you're
I
not
was
eating now?
eating then, I was eating ground rice, gari, yam, rice, big quantity, red meat, all those things, but now I don't eat red meat. I eat fish more, I eat chicken more, and I don't eat a lot of rice anymore. Eat more nuts, vegetables, and that's all I eat most of the time these days. And
Okay.
my
And do
health
you
has
do you used
improved.
to eat do you used to eat late, but now what
Yeah,
your
that's
timing
another
of
point.
eating now?
Before I used to eat late, I can eat about 12 o'clock and then go to bed about 1 or 2. So my body has no time for it to digest. Now I eat early and I have like a 12-hour gap before I have another meal. If I eat about 7, 8 o'clock, I don't eat the following day, say 9, 10 in the morning. So I have like a 12-hour fasting, which is helping me to keep my weight down.
So what does it how does this contribute to the surgery or post surgery? Because people might think, okay, you change your health, are we saying these foods are the one causing um the that led to the cancer in the first instance, you know, are we saying that's what led into it? So how does this improve the
I
surgery or
will
people?
probably say what I've been eating because, like during lockdown, I was eating a lot of cakes, a lot of sugar, things like that. Things that are not really healthy. But after the diagnosis, I cut out all those things. And I hardly eat cake anymore, biscuits. I cut all those things down. So diet is very important. I don't know what actually helped me, but the fear of dying. As soon as I had that news, the fear of dying made me change everything. Because even
Everything that
my wife and I, we sat down and said, "Oh, what are you going to do? What about the mortgages? What about the properties? You have to consult." Fine. We were in a terrible situation. But luckily, we were positive. We focused on survival, on beating the cancer. And that what helped me. A lot of people gave us advice. My wife is quite good in research about all the different treatment options we have before we went to see the surgeon in Guy's Hospital. So by the time we got there, we had a lot of information. So information is important. We gathered a lot of information, different type of treatments, and it wasn't easy. I'm standing now, but at the time we were terrified. And the worst part of it is when you go for a test, for instance, MRI scan, waiting for the result. When you are waiting for that result, the tension is too much. Because if you have any pain, any side of your pain, you think the cancer is spreading. So it was really terrifying. Between the first examination they did what they call DRE. That's finger up the ass, which a lot of men don't like. I don't like it. But it saved my life because as soon as the doctor did that, he said, Tony, he said, Mr. Naka, your prostate is hard. I would like to send you for MRI scan. The same day, he sent me for MRI scan in Lucian Hospital. I went there, they did the scan, and the result came out in October. That the medical team in Queen Elizabeth Hospital were not sure. So they said they have to send me for another scan called PET, P-E-T, which was meant to find out if there's any spread of the prostate cancer in my body. Luckily for me, when the result came out, the consultant called me and said, Mr. Naka, good news. The tumor is still contained in your prostate. And that gave us a lot of relief in our family. My wife, my two girls, they were really the rocks that helped me. My family, medical team as well, they did their own. Myself, I did my own because I concentrated on exercise and diet to help me out, and which helped me, and positivity. I was positive. And curious, asking people. I joined the prostate cancer support group, two, one in Lucian and one in Brixton. The information I got there was priceless because you meet people who have already suffered prostate cancer and survived. You see people who are still suffering it and undergoing the effect of the surgery. So they tell you how they're coping. Some people, after a year, they were still leaking, incontinence. It wasn't easy, but luckily for me, my positivity helped me to survive.
Your positivity help you to survive.
Yes.
That's the key thing. That is the key thing because once you believe you can't, then definitely you can. If you believe you can, definitely you can. So, and I believe yes, the mindset is very key to it. So,
Yes.
I mean, from nutrition point of view, I have prepared some slide, some information that I would like to share.
Okay. And
But
also, and also the surgeon that did my surgery is one of the 10 surgeons, best 10 surgeons in London. So I was lucky. That also luck play part for it. I was in the hospital just for a day. My surgery was on the 9th of January 2025. I was discharged on the 10th of January. But it wasn't just a discharge and that's it, because I was discharged, I have catheter on and but by the time they removed my catheter toward the end of January, I was feeling better. Because during that time, I really had to keep myself clean near my genital area. got to be clean. If you get infection, that would be a different serious problem. And my wife helped me a lot. And thank God I have people advising me, helping me. A lot of contacts who are consultant urologists who are not in Guy's Hospital, but one is in Newcastle Hospital. So I got a lot of help from different areas, avenues. The medical team were good. My family were good behind me. And I had to fight my own fight. And I did. It wasn't easy.
Thank God for that. We thank God for that. So, does anyone, if you're watching on Zoom, let me just check YouTube. Does anyone ask any question for elders? It's very important so that let me just check the chat on YouTube. If there's any question, please drop your questions into the chat. And if you want to unmute and ask your question, I believe this is the time. What I have prepared tonight is just what I have by research and by training that have been found that can support our prostate if we do the needful on time. And for me, I just want to build on top of that. But before doing that, I just want to make sure, because we're coming to the half-hour mark of this presentation, and I just want everybody's voice to be heard. So if you have any question, please put it in the chat, either on Zoom or on YouTube. It will be read. Yes, I think we have a hands up. Mr. Ken, please, you can unmute yourself. You're muted, so please unmute yourself and just go for it.
Yeah, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can.
Yeah, I can, yeah.
Okay, my name is Ken Abiodun. I'm a good friend of Tony Anaka. As a matter of fact, two of us are 5 and 6, and they used to stay in Nigerian area.
Yeah, you're right.
What I just want to say from my own, he has already told you the story of how he got the cancer. But those of us that are his friend, we didn't have the cancer. What is about our own story? About it when we had it. I was so devastated when he told me about it, because he's from a different club on Rotary. I'm from a different club in Rotary. And we used to collaborate together on so many things. When he told me it's as if my life is coming to an end. My heart was beating so hard that I was thinking, what's going on here? So we told me about it, and we talked through it. From our own end here, we gave him a lot of support in terms of prayer, in terms of constant calling him and reassuring him that all will be well, that whatever they ask him to do, he should go ahead and do it. So that give him upliftment. And from my own side, I've never done any test about cancer. I do heard about it. They talked about it. It never even bothered me as far as I'm concerned. I and Tony, we have fun. We are loving guys. We have our pepper soup, amala, everything. I could understand when he's saying that he has to cut off this amala. I say, Tony, you are missing a lot of man, they eat amala. So at the end of the day, the point I'm making here is that men, they say we have our own way of not coming out of our shell and discuss things. Through him, I managed to really do my own, what do they call it? Cancer test.
PSA blood test.
Yeah, I done the PSA test, and I draw the one you said people are not happy to do. I do that as well.
Yes.
So it gave me the courage to be able to say boldly that every man should take it upon themselves and do it. The initial one is a bit shocking, but you have to make that effort. So recently we had an event about cancer. I was guest speaker there, and I was there. So there was what do you call a kubiki, where we have to do another check or something like that. So I was the one to go and do my own. Yes, and I came out to reassure other people that I've done mine. Don't get upset. We know we think about all these things, but whichever way you look at it, life is too short. We have to do what we have to do. Even though you may be feeling fine, jumping up and down, but you never know, because there wasn't any screen in front of my head or anywhere to tell you that something is wrong with you. So it's not like you're driving a car along the line, you see red light coming on the dashboard and you quickly stop. Health is not always like that. So I thank you, Tony, for coming out to speak to us. And I'm looking forward to more of this awareness so that men can take the initiative and do it early, so before it spread. And thank you for having me this evening.
Yeah, thank you, Ken.
Thank you so much. Thank you, Mr. Ken. Thank you. And I think that's just buttress everything, to be honest, because you know, I stand to be corrected. You know, maybe, you know, when they link this more to black community or black skin people, maybe the reason is we don't take things seriously. We, you know, we kind of ignore it, put it at the back of our mind. And like Mr. Ken just said, there's nothing on your forehead to tell you that something is going on. So we don't. People of white skin or that community, any little thing they're already with their GP, every little thing they're already off sick. So they don't joke with things like that. So I don't think there's a gene because you know, people of white color also have it. But I think for them is like checking regularly prevents the numbers, drop the numbers down compared to us in the black community. And there is this stereotype feeling, you know, that we just don't want to know. And sometimes what you don't know is the problem, and sometimes what you know is the problem. But the good thing about this one is that if you know, um, for Anthony to be 71, go to 72, it should tell you that it's one of those things that even if it's not the right thing, it's not the end of life. So is there anything else you like to want to share with us before I go to what I have? Just anything else on your mind, any comment, any advice, anything that comes to your mind that we've not talked about tonight? I would like to spend the next 5 minutes or so.
Okay. The only, I would say, black men, we tend to hide our problems. When you have illness or disease, you hide it. Instead of coming open, talk about it, hopefully you get somebody who can give you advice. Somebody who has gone through it who can give you advice. So got to be open, got to discuss all this. Women are better than us men. Women, they talk among themselves. A woman can meet another woman within 10 minutes. They know all about their life, their health, the type of food they eat. But women, all we talk about is maybe football, you know, we talk about other things apart from our health. So got to take our health more serious. That's one thing. If you're over 50, as a black person, if you're over 45, I advise you get yourself checked regularly. Get your PSA done at your GP because according to data from Prostate Cancer UK, 1 in 4 black men will be diagnosed with prostate cancer in their lives. And 1 in 8 generally. Asian people, they say about 1 in 13. So black men are in high risk category. So got to take more precaution. I don't know, maybe it's our gene or whether it's our food, but the main thing is a lot of us lack information. You got to gather information. You got to be pushy. Go to your doctor. Don't let them fob you off. Make sure you got what you deserve. Before you go, you get information, the type of question you ask the doctor, be ready for them. They refuse, you can go back again, or you can ask them for you to go and get checked, with another GP. You have the right to do that. So we got to be pushy. Got to, because it's our life. It's your life. You got to take it in your hands. Medical people are good. They do their own. You as a person, you got to do your own. You got to look after yourself. Your lifestyle is important. And family unit is also help. Because my family, they were behind me. They supported me, going to all the scan, all the tests. My daughter was driving me up and down. So you got to, your family unit is important. Medical people are important to yourself. You got to fight your own fight. Another thing is positivity. You got to be positive. A lot of our people, they have illness, they're negative, they're praying. Yeah, it's all right to pray, but you got to take practical action. Prayer is good. but you got to take practical action. Medical, some people go through herbal route. Even when I was diagnosed, I was drinking a soursop tea, dried leaves. Soursop itself, to buy it in this country is too expensive. So I resorted in, the dried soursop that bringing me the leaves from Nigeria. So I was taking that. People say it works. I don't know whether it works or not, but anything that people say, I'll try anything to be alive. But positivity is very important. Focus in recovery. When it happened to me, after my surgery, I had a boundary. Some of my friends, my contact, were calling me. They wanted to come and see me. I said to them, no, I don't want anybody coming to see me because I needed time to focus on recovery, which helped me. From January to March, by the time I went for my first visit after my surgery, everything was okay. I wasn't leaking. I wasn't using pads anymore. Some people, after 1 year, they're still leaking. I wasn't using pad. I'm dry. The only thing I suffer now is just erectile dysfunction. But at my age, that's the least of my worry. The main thing is that I'm alive. And I communicate with my wife. We manage things. But you got to focus on recovery when you have a surgery. That helped me a lot. I'm still under their surveillance for the next 4 years. The last PSA I did in March, he said it was 0.003, which is almost negligible. I have another appointment in August. Fingers crossed, I'll be okay. I'll be okay.
That's good.
I'll be okay.
Thank you so much, sir. Thanks so much, sir. Mr. Barry, your hand is up. Since you have a question or comment.
Good evening, everyone. Can you guys hear me?
Yes, we can hear you.
Yeah, we can.
Okay. My question is, because you mentioned about herbs, you say you can't really tell if you make any difference, right? Because obviously when you were diagnosed, you would have been attending the doctors regularly. Did they say there was any changes in the diagnostics or anything to like help you, not really help you, to make you see in the sense of those things we're taking, like the herbs, whether they were helping, whether they were improving, or maybe they were just doing nothing?
Yeah, what do you mean, what I was taking?
Yeah, the herbs, when you were taking.
Or the herbal?
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, to be honest, we don't really know. Doctors don't go to that side. They don't comment on that because there's no scientific evidence. But among ourselves, because I belong to prostate cancer support group, is mainly Black people. The one illusion and the one. We talk about it. People say don't need, but obviously, I decided to go on herbal, but at the same time on medical recommendations. So I was doing it in different ways. Any aspect, any recommendation, I'll go for it because I don't know which one is better. But herbal one, some people said they went through it and their cancer went. They prayed, their cancer went. So people have different ways of dealing with things, but I focus and believed in science. That's why I went towards medical and surgery. And the surgery was robotic assisted surgery. It was done by a robot, which made it easy for me.
My next question is to do with your mindset, because obviously when you heard the news, you said you broke it down, which is understanding. But how did you actually deal with it? Because I know your wife was with you. How did you deal with it personally?
Yes, how I dealt with it is, after the initial shock, we went to the nurse's office and they said to me, Mr. Naka, you look fit, you are fit, carry on doing what you are doing. And the statement she made was that prostate cancer is not a death sentence. Okay. And that positive information gave me the courage to fight. And there and then I decided I will fight and I win. And luckily for me, as at now, I've won. I'm cancer-free, but I'll still have to keep on with my diet, exercise. My PSA will be checked every 6 months to make sure everything is in order to avoid reoccurrence.
Okay.
And I carry on with my pelvic floor exercise, which is called Kegel, Kegel, Kegel. Anybody who wants information can go to Prostate Cancer UK, their website. You get all the information, all the leaflets you want to read on the website. They give a lot of information. You'll probably be wondering why I'm wearing this. Last Saturday, we went to Battersea Park. I did 5K steps.
Wow.
That's why I got my medal. So I still keep fit. I still do exercise, and we're raising awareness. We're raising funds as well. So, and my mission from now on is to raise awareness to help other men so that they can get their life saved. Because early detection saves life. I'm a living evidence for that.
And that reminds me, I think you shared the fund page with me. So for those of us on LD and I'm gonna share that link um, as a way of supporting you. I'm gonna share that. So for if you're hearing me, you can see that link will drop in the WhatsApp group tonight. And anyone that is watching on YouTube, if you really want to join LD Handy Group, every Thursday there is something you're gonna learn educatively, and when it's come to prevention, because that's what I'm specializing in. My school of thought is about prevention. If it happens, then I leave it to the doctors to do that, and leave that to our fathers in faith who can bring the anointing and healing different forms and tonight. But I believe in prevention, and that is where my energy is. So if you want to be part of that group, leave a comment in either in WhatsApp group or sorry, in YouTube or Zoom, then we can add you into that group. So tonight you kind of touch a lot of things that I would easily have shared. And the reason I want you to people to hear it from you so that it will not be something like, oh, where Andy's getting all this thing from? Maybe because he has gone to College of Natural Medicine, that's why he's telling all these kind of things. But I want to recap a few things you said, because time is really fast. My God. You know, first, a lot of things I pick up from tonight you said. You reached out, you spoke out. That way, we didn't do justice to that, but I know that's where you learned a lot from. I mean, kudos to your wife. For her to have made all those changes is because she knew about them, and I'm sure some she knew, some she picked up, you two picked up, and change your diet. Then you talked about exercise. Even though you are exercising, you never had a Kegel type of the pelvic floor exercise, right? Then most importantly, you have the right mindset. You have the right mindset that this thing is not a death sentence. Graciously, somebody spoke to your life and said, "Look, just live your life." It's not, and that did something to you to believe. So these are all the things that we need to live. Basically, these are the foundation, a good diet lifestyle, because I don't believe that we should be 50 before we change our diet. I don't believe it because why? There's a lot of all our food right now has changed. You're already 71, going to 72. You cannot tell me it's the same meat you ate when you are 30 years old that we are eating today. It's not. It's all grown with so many chemicals, hormones, and these are the things causing changes in the body. Even the fruit, you'll be so shocked. I was cutting an apple this morning and I saw a mold in my apple, inside the apple, not on the apple, inside the apple. They'll tell you wash it properly. No, it's not about washing properly. You need to wash and cut it and see what you're eating. And this is meant to be an organic product. I like, oh, it got to be organic. I was shocked. I won't put the name of the store on this recording, but it cost me a lot of money, but I was just surprised that I'm still seeing mold inside apple. So these are the things we don't see 30, 40 years ago. And these are the things driving chemical reaction in our body. Is changing our biology, is changing how our body is responding to things. So I'm gonna start sharing 5 things with night, and then I'm gonna bring back Elder Anthony for final word. Um, I want to share 5 things which I believe will help us. In addition, I'm using the word not in replacement, please. In addition to positive mindset, in addition changing your diet, and not just changing your diet, not eating. I used to say if you eat late, I don't know where you want to burn that food. There's no gym in the dream. So, and the body will store it as fat. And these are not just going to be stored as fat, but think of the chemical, the pesticides, the hormone in that food. You There's no room to burn it in the dream. So changing our diet, changing the timing of our diet, exercise, for those of us working in the office, I stood throughout the day, most of my time in the office today. I make sure my desk is a desk you can stand. If you're working from home, invest in desk that can stand. Do not sit. Men, one of the things that contribute to this is sitting too long, to be honest. What contributes to weak bladder in men is prolonged sitting. It doesn't affect women because they don't have that ball, but when it comes to men, the bladder and the and the and the and the scrotum, they kind of share almost the same pathway. Where the semen comes through, they share the same pipe. So all sitting too long just is the number one enemy. Two is food. The chemicals, not just food, but the chemicals in the food. So what I want to share tonight is just in addition to these things, because think about it. You're driving a car, because you talk about cutting off rice. An average Nigerian will eat rice 3 times a day, right? So is rice bad? The answer is no. But why do you have to reduce rice? I can tell you, is inflammation, because inflammation is the number one root cause of diseases. And inflammation, if you're going to step it back, step a little back for that. What drives inflammation in the body is sugar. So I eat rice, I didn't do any exercise, the body will hold it, right, and store it as what? It's going to store it as sugar. you know store it in the liver to be released on later date. At the time I don't really want it. you know these are the things that will drive inflammation. Too much carbohydrate in diet, right, is going to be converted into sugar, and sugar will drive inflammation. And inflammation has 5 cardinal way of manifesting. The biggest one everybody can relate with is pain. You're talking about back pain, that's inflammation. That's how we know inflammation is going on. You see swelling in a part of your body, that's inflammation, right? You see redness, that is inflammation. So it's about 5 of them, but I don't want to start talking about science today. You can put that to rest in ChatGPT, will give you the other two. So if we reduce inflammation, then we can stop most disease from progressing. And the best way to reduce inflammation is what? To reduce our sugar content. As a Nigerian, see all the food you listed, they're all pro-inflammatory, right? The rice, the bread, the gari, you know what I'm saying? And you not eat at night. So I'm not saying that we should not eat this food, but you got to start cutting them down or balance it. If you see me eat yam or eat rice, I don't eat what is cooked on that day. So the yam I want to eat, let's say tomorrow, it's already in the freezer. If I want to tell you one simple act of reducing sugar in white starches food. If you cook rice, don't eat the rice you cook that day. put it in the fridge and reheat it the following day. You can put this, you can check this on your chat GPT. You will realize that you reduce the sugar content of spiking your sugar level in your body more than 40%. You can check this out. So I'm not telling you things you cannot find out. So and it turns to resistant starch as well, which means that the glucose will be released little by little. My yam is in the freezer. If I cook rice tonight, I put it in the fridge straight away. If you can try to avoid cooking rice, cooking yam, and eat it the same day, right? You will reduce your sugar spike by 50%, which also reduce inflammation, which is the number one root cause of all diseases, inflammation. Once we can control inflammation, then it's a different ball game. So here are my top five. These are my top five supplement, because if you look at our food now, by the time I share my slide, you ask yourself, am I getting this from what I'm eating? If I'm driving to Manchester and I've do a full tank and it tells me it's 400 miles in my car gallon, but London to Manchester is under 230 miles, if I'm correct, around that figure, 230, yeah, between 200 and 230 miles. So I have enough to take me to Manchester and at least back to Leicester before I can refill my tank, right? But here, I started from London. I'm stuck in M1. I spent 2 hours in M1. That 2 hours, I've taken more than 150 miles off my fuel. So I'm left with 250 miles. So you realize that what I have, the minute it takes me to Manchester, there's no more fuel in my car anymore. That is how our body works. When we start aging, every day, every year, based on what we are eating, that nutrient that supports our health is going down. So you realize that your friend can take it to Manchester, but can't take it back home. But you don't live in Manchester. So you realize that at the end of the day, we want to live long, but we do not have the nutrients in our body to support that length of days. That is why if you are more than 40, you're working 9 to 5, you are hustling and bustling, even you're working from home, it's even worse working from home. Once you're just above 40, I cannot say you should not supplement. So here are my top five. So let me share my screen now. Let me share my screen. Here are my top five. Let me share my top five, and we can take one more question because our time is very, very, very fast spent now. Let me share my top five. Okay, where is my share button? Okay, right. Okay, share. Okay, can you just confirm you can see my screen? You should be able to see my screen coming up. Is it there? Is my if you can confirm on Zoom, just make me sure that I'm sharing. You can see my screen.
It's not yet showing, sir.
It's not yet showing.
Say double click to enter full screen mode.
Okay.
Yeah, okay, your screen is showing now.
Is it up now? Okay.
Yes,
Okay.
No, but
right.
not your screen. Not okay. Yeah, carry on.
Is it on now? Oh, yeah, it's on. Yeah, that's fine. Okay. So the first thing I probably the first one I want to share is called saw tomato. So you can hear Elder say something, right? I asked that question specifically, which he didn't know why I was asking it. We're talking about unable to hold his urination anymore, and and back pain. So saw tomato has been found to support that symptoms. So it is something and these are brands that I use, to be honest. These are brands. Everything you see here, they're not paying me to do this, but these are brands that I know that they are chemical free, because supplements contain chemicals as well. If you don't know what you're looking for, if you think you're running from chemical from food and you can get in supplement, you will be wrong if you don't know what you're looking for. Some of these supplements, they contain fillers, and some fillers can even give you diabetes because they spike the sugar, things they put in there. So you have to. So for me, these are things that if you enter my house, you'll find in my house. But I'm not advertising them. I'm not promoting them. They're not paying me for doing this. But it's just based on my own experience, what I have, what I've using, what I've been tested. I have the science. I can show you all the document behind it, why I use them, why I'm recommending it, because that's what I use anyway. But I'm not marketing anything. I'm not selling anything to anyone. And you can see that this may help to reduce the symptoms of enlarged prostate, right? Such as frequent urination and weak urine flow. Not able to have full discharge. This is, but I take this more now in the natural forms. That's why you can see the leaves on the left. So I will encourage you to do the natural form than the tablet. But I'd rather you do the tablet than do nothing. You get what I'm saying? So we are not in the days of do nothing. I think Eda mentioned that this is not the day like you have to take responsibility. You have to take actions. You have to face your fear. You have to, your wife can do the cooking for you, but who has to do the eating? You have to do the eating. You have to say no to your friends. You have to say no to Mr. Ken inviting to the pet soup, knowing that that can't help you now. So yeah, so just basically that's what it is. So my number one is saw tomato. Number two is something I'm gonna have in this summer is the best drink you can do. Just take a teaspoon of tomato paste in water, put a little ice cube in it with a straw. You can put ginger, you are just good to go, right? This is the number one source of lycopene. Lycopene is one of the best friends to your prostate. Is I cannot I cannot I cannot say it. I cannot say more than that. Please do your research. Like I said, all these companies, it's an Italian company. I don't know them. They don't know me. So I don't want to dwell too much on it. We're in the days of Perplexity, Claude AI. Don't use ChatGPT. Those are toys. Use real AI. They will give you the data. They will give you the papers behind. Especially Claude AI. If you want the scientific paper behind lycopene, just put in your Claude AI. What is the benefit of taking tomato puree, the lycopene needs to my prostate health, and give me research papers? Claude AI will do that for you. 100%. I'm too kind of confident of that. Hey, I was here. So I think it's something drop off now. I don't know what dropped off. Okay. All right. Maybe I don't know. Okay. Because I think I lost the screen now. Then the next one I've probably talked about is vitamin D3. Vitamin D3. Every single cell in our body requires vitamin D3. And you will find this very, 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 very required for prostate. Can you see that? Prostate tissue functions. It is tissue that forms organ. If you're talking about prostate, it's a combination of tissues. So this work at cellular level in the prostate. So vitamin D3, a friend of mine, I probably might be watching on YouTube. If it's possible, he's watching on YouTube. We were just talking, right? Most Black people think that they don't have problem of vitamin D, right? Because we're Black. But what a lot of Black people never knew is that it's our Black skin that make us deficient of vitamin D3. When you see a dark-skinned person rubbing sun cream in summer, you should know that's ignorant, because our skin have a pigment called melanin, and melanin is what protects us from UV light from the sun. which can give result to some to skin cancer. That's why you see people with white color, they use sun cream in summer like this. But black people doesn't need sun cream, for crying out loud. God has already given you by default. So you actually need to stay in the sun more than any other color person. Otherwise, you cannot make vitamin D from the sun. And a lot of us never had this problem when we're living in Africa, because we're always in a sunny environment 24/7, 365 days a year. But the moment we come to this to Europe, not just UK, right? When we only have sun for 3 months, it is 99.9 confirmed, right? One thing all cancer disease has in common is lack of vitamin D3. Why? Because vitamin D is in every single cell of the body. So anywhere any disease is presenting itself, one thing you find that cell does not have is vitamin D. And I'm a champion. I'm like elders now, the advocate of prostrate. I'm an advocate of vitamin D. I always tell every black person, go and do vitamin D test. I don't care how you feel right now. You must, if you're doing a test regularly, ask your GP to check your vitamin D status. That hair loss it can be vitamin D related. That back pain can be vitamin related. I've seen people have crazy period, ladies, due to lack of vitamin D. I cannot go into vitamin D today, otherwise I'll turn to the vitamin D webinar. So this is something I am kind of advocate. So I think I missed something out on um, on this tomato puree. Please make sure you are not buying the one that is the salt content is high. This particular brand has a low salt content, because too much of salt is what? Blood pressure. So when you are buying your tomato puree, you don't need to buy this brand, but just look for the salt content um, in that um, um, in that tomato puree you're buying. I think I just missed that. I just remember now. So my fourth one, waiting this to change. Talk about vitamin E. Is zinc. Is zinc. I cannot put it in order, which I wish I can tell you this is the most, but I know for prostrate men, these are non-negotiable, right? These are what support. It's just like, electric car runs on what? Electric. A diesel car runs on what? Diesel. A petrol car runs on what? Petrol. Prostrate vitamins, zinc is number one vitamin you need for your prostrate. So you tell me, where is zinc in Gary? Where is zinc in rice? Where is zinc? You get what I'm saying? We are eating something that does not support our health, unfortunately, right? So, and the reason I'm emphasizing on this supplement are, some of us, we might even find it from food and eat the food, but our body cannot process it. So once you're above 40, I would say eat it in your food, but also supplement it. At least your body will not miss it out of. If you can't get it, if you cannot convert it because maybe you have weak digestive system, or you don't have stomach acid to break down food, at least from supplements, you should not have that problem. You see what I'm saying? But doing nothing is not an option. And this is one of the most important bedtime supplements. This is something you must take at night, the very last thing before you go to bed. A few drops in water, you drink it, and voila, it will do the work for you overnight. You are fueling your prostrate with the right vitamins that and nutrients that you need even when you sleep, right? And I think my last one is maca powder, right? This supports, Eda was still talking about at 72 now, no more erection, obviously, for obvious reason, for his age. But it's not a good sign for a man not to have erection when it's not a good sign. I see that, and when I see that, I know like, oh, no, something's not right here. You get what I'm saying? These are the early signs you need to be watching out for. And maca powder has been found to boost um, everything that has to do with male um, fertility or male vitality. We're going to put that word that way. So these are my top 5, that can support our prostate health. And if you are not getting it from food, the question is, why are you not going to take this supplement? So, like I said, do your research, get a brand that is very, very clean. You know what they're doing. All these companies, I don't know them, but these are companies that I have done my own research that I know it is very clear, and this can support our health. So it's something that I will surely, surely, surely um, be recommending um, going forward. Okay, so in wrapping up, I'm going to give Elder the floor again, just to give us his final comment.
Yes, sir. Andy, thank you. Thank you for giving us this evening to learn and share information. And they say knowledge applied is power. So from what you just said, if we apply them, another thing is, you say tomato puree. Is it better than raw tomato?
Yes,
Because I eat raw tomato. Some people recommend raw tomato. I've been eating about 3 or 4 raw tomato every morning with
it's the seed. It's the seed is my
blackberries and
concern. Yeah, it's the seed in tomatoes that I'm a little bit concerned of.
okay.
So that's why we recommend that you do the puree. And the good thing about tomato is that, you can put it in water and just drink it as it is, or you can put it on your salad, or you can actually cook with it. Maybe you are doing your egg, so if you expose the puree into heat, it doesn't damage. There's some things that, like vegetables now, like your green vegetables, you don't want to steam them too much. You will lose all the nutrients in it. You're just eating fiber. It's still good, but if you want the nutrients in all your green vegetables, you just lightly steam them 2 to 3 minutes to retain all the potassium, the zinc, everything that is in that, but the good thing about tomato is that you can expose it to eat and it still retain. In fact, all the nutrient comes back when you expose them to eat. So I will always recommend the puree than the tomato itself.
Okay. Yeah, thank you. Because as you said, prevention is better than cure. We don't know how to prevent it, but from what you said, I'm sure that diet is important in our health. Preventing prostate cancer, exercise, your diet is very important. I would ask everybody, every man, every black man over 45 to take their lives into their hands. Terms of prostate cancer, get yourself checked yearly. Get PSA blood test done yearly. Don't let your GP fob you off with excuses. Also, women, please, please help us, help all the men, because we don't talk about our health. Push men, all the men in your life, your husband, your father, your brother over 45, push them, encourage them, nag them to go and get their PSA blood tests done every year. To save life, prostate cancer, it doesn't just affect the person suffering, it affects everybody around you. Your wife, your children, everybody suffers. So you got to take action. Please take your health seriously. You're not good when you are dead. Your family, you're not good to them. So it's important you look after your health. Diet, exercise, And as I say, positive mind. But definitely, early detection saves life. Please, let's take action and save our lives. Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. Thank you. Thank you so much, sir. We really appreciate your time.
Yes, as I
Thank
say,
you so
prostate
much.
cancer is not a death sentence, and we got to do something for ourselves. That's all I can say.
Thank you so much. Thank
Yeah.
you so much, sir, for gracing us,
Okay.
for gracing the platform tonight. We really appreciate you. And I want to thank everybody that stayed this long as well. Thank you so much for making it enjoyable. Thank you for all your questions. And even if you don't ask questions, just having people online is encouraging. Thank you so much. And for those on YouTube, thank you for joining us also on YouTube. So at this point, we're going to call it a night. And very soon, we're going to bring something out for the women as well. We missed the Mother's Day, but I felt like for Father's Day, this is the best gift you can give to a man. If he can prolong his life with wisdom and knowledge and practical steps that can prolong his joy with his family as well. Because like I said, if this happens, it affects everybody.
Yeah.
And for me, this is the best Father's Day than sending a chat to somebody. Um, Anyone that you know, please share this YouTube link with them. It's the best Father's Day gift you can give to a man, And let's come out of this stereotype of not sharing our problem. And if we can share to you, at least you can share the webinar to them. Let them go and learn. And if they want to suffer in silence after that, then it's up to them. But the help is here. People are here. Eda is here. If you have any question, even outside this, and you can also connect with him. Please don't wait for me to give you his number. If you're on LD Handy, you can see his number. Chat him up directly. If you have any concern, he can put you through any advice, maybe for your loved ones.
Yeah.
Please reach out to him on our platform. He should be able to support you because we're a community, and all we do is to help each other when it comes to our health.
Exactly.
Some other people are very good in doing that in area of finance. Some are very good in doing that area of prayer. But LD Handy, we're kind of good in the area of prevention and education. So please make sure you avail yourself. There's no point to be on the group. You're not reaching out to people that can help you. And I think we've learned something about that tonight, and that should create a change within us to make sure that we are open to each other and accountable to each other. Thank you so much, everyone. And until next time, stay healthy, stay blessed, stay strong, and let's keep on living the best of our life here on earth in our best shape. Thank you, us, everyone. God bless you and see you next time. Thank you.